Hey everybody, Daniel here with Family Fun RC. I usually don't do a after build video, but I'm going to do one on this one. This is the FMS 1.4 meter 182 Skytrainer. This one was a bit of a headache. There are a lot of things that I didn't like about it as far as the build goes. One thing FMS is advertising is with these wings, they're supposed to have plug-in ports with a wiring harness coming up on either side of the cabin, and you just plug a motherboard in and each wing is on a solid port. That was not the case on this. This was the plug and play. It was advertised to be that way. Maybe it was they cross-advertised or whatever, and it was only on the binding fly that they had that. But I had a conglomerate mess of wires. They had fished down this little bitty tube, and two of the leads weren't even long enough to reach where the receiver is supposed to sit. So I had to end up taking my own extension and putting in there, which isn't a big deal breaker, you know, it is what it is. But the fact that they didn't have those in there, I was kind of upset about that. The glass is darker than it was supposed to be. Again, that's not a big deal breaker. The hard points on the side of the fuselage and on the bottom of the wings here, they were supposed to be pre-mounted, and they weren't. I had to make some epoxy and glue them in. But along with the other minor stuff, I'm not really that concerned about it. The biggest thing I don't like was the whole mess of wires up here coming out of the wings, trying to snake them down through the back of this cabin. Other than that, the tail went together reasonably well. The lines don't exactly line up on it, but they're close enough that I can deal with it, and I'll fill the gaps in with some filler and be done with it that way. It's not going to be any big deal. This is a 6-channel, and the 6th channel is occupied by the lighting on it. It's got the anti-collision, the nav lights, and the landing light. The way it's set up in the wiring harness is so that once it's plugged in, they're on. You know, I'm probably going to rewire it and put it on a switch, on a servo switch, to where I can turn the lights on and off. That way, in broad daylight, they're not going to matter. It's not going to make any difference if you're flying in broad daylight. For aesthetics on the ground, yeah, it looks cool, but it's just going to drain your battery in flight. So if I can segregate that and put them on a switch to where if I want to have them on while I'm landing for the aesthetics and the landing lights, that'd be great. And I'll probably end up doing that, and you'll end up seeing that in a later video. But it's a good looking plane, I will say that. It's big, it looks like it's going to be very stable. I'm going to be flying it very soon to find out. And when I did my run-up test, the motor is very, very quiet. You don't have the high-pitched whine you usually have with electric motors. You know, all you're really hearing is the prop noise from it cutting the air. So, oh, and if you do get this model, watch your screws, because one thing it didn't say in the manual, but each of these control horns that you have to mount yourself, you have to use the long screw and the short screw. You know, I thought, okay, short screws on the ailerons, long screws on the flaps because they're thicker. No. You got to use the long one on the leading edge of it and the short one on the trailing edge of it. It does not come with glue like it's advertised. I'd use my own glue, which, you know, I don't really care. A little bit of epoxy is not going to make or break me. The control, the push rods on it, they're kind of thin and flimsy. They do have a casing on them, but on the elevators, there's a good 4 to 6 inches back there that's outside the casing for reinforcement. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't think it's going to be a major issue, but it might encounter some deflection, especially when the elevator's on the bottom side of it. The landing gear are very nice and scale. They do have a plasticky sound to them. I was watching some videos of some other guys. They took some fuel line, some NOS fuel line, and made little bitty washers out of it and put it on either side, and it eliminated that. I'm kind of concerned about how that would affect the rollout, but I might try it just to see what happens. Other than that, the wing fits in the top very, very good. It's very snug up here, but not to the point to where you have to fight it. It's held together, held in by 2 screws in the back. It's got 2 pegs in the front, slides in, screws down. There's a little bit of a gap in here where the wings come together. I've tried everything I can do to get that gap out and close it up. It's just not going to happen. I don't know if that is going to be some kind of area where air can get out or whatever, if that in the design, or if it was a mess up. But stay tuned. In a few weeks you'll be seeing the videos on this one. We'll take it up, do a maiden, keep it nice and tame first, and then we'll get a little bit crazy with it. Thanks for watching. Fly safe, have fun.